as well as, on the other hand, a loving, peaceful, liberated, wise and harmonious functioning of the individuals and the entire community of mankind. Truthfully, no movement of a political, military, economical, scientific, philosophical and faith-oriented form should be allowed to dominate over another. However, if such domination exists, then rivalries, hate, racism, faith and political struggles, as well as discord, lack of freedom, unkindness, ignorance and many further non-values develop which lead to destruction, murder and manslaughter, in addition to warlike actions and falsehood. 20. The earth human must change toward the good and positive through his own reason and grasp of responsibility and thereby rehabilitate himself. Thus he must establish his own dimension and free himself from his self-demeaning service toward all his shortcomings and his false hopes and desires. The earth human considers that he will live new lives over and over again in striving for that which is higher in accordance with the creational laws and commandments through many new personalities in reincarnation of the spirit form and the comprehensive consciousness block, namely in the obligation of a creational path that he consciously develops in every logical, good and positive form. But this means that every person must strive for his advancement through every personal responsibility, and society must also make that possible for him. It is correct that everybody takes the trouble to perform the required work for which he will be paid and which will enable him to afford housing in one form or the other, as well as, in self-responsibility, to bear the cost of his food and clothing and also for his training and education and for all arising needs. 21. The earth human must learn to recognize and understand his true, innermost creational being, because solely through will it be possible for him to get involved with his body and, above all, his material consciousness and its awakening and development. Thus he learns his own self-appreciation for his innermost being as well as his body and consciousness and come to this realization by himself. So the recognition and conscious arousal of one's own innermost being occurs through the awakening of the material consciousness as well as true awareness of the body. These 21 important things, dear friend, should be my statements for now, which I mentioned in accordance with your wish. In another visit I will, perhaps, try to continue with the statements. Billy says, my sincere thanks for your remarks. I would also like to thank you in advance that you want to address even other points in later conversations. Many thanks. Quetzal says, but now, it must really be enough for today. Until we meet again. Billy says, bye. Until we meet again, and many thanks again. The end.